but definitely padding charts on the back as that ultimately led to a fantastic pullback and bounce for some traders out there. So pointer being $16.10 remains at key level of support, and it was good to see that the price and the bulls and all the buyers stepped in right around that area. But if this bounce is going to continue, then nothing has changed from the resistance side of things. Still have that 1690-ish area as the initial level of resistance, and the next key level after that, right up there, the purple line, which you now know is the 50-period moving average, which, again, as I noted in yesterday's video, talked about that being an area of resistance, and wouldn't you know it, that's right where it got rejected from this morning. So definitely keep an eye on those couple areas of resistance if this bounce does try to continue. Next one, NFLX. Netflix continues to just get destroyed. But again, it's Netflix. It's such a popular stock. And you take that fact, and then I'm going to get rid of both these and combine it with now this very well-defined trend line right here. So let me be very clear. I assure you, I'm not trying to impress you or imply that this trend line here is some sort of great discovery on my part. I promise you, people around the world have drawn in something very similar. And when a lot of people around the world are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic price movement. But once again, there are no guarantees. My point here is that it's more than rational to think if this can get up to the level and push up through it, you got to think that there's a chance that Netflix could make a nice run in the upwards direction. Now, does it go up and close the gap? I'm not saying that at all. But from a trading standpoint, would there be enough wiggle room in there to potentially have a nice profitable trade? In my mind, yeah, absolutely. So if you like to play kind of these bottom feeding type setups, again, especially on Netflix, when it's such a popular stock, it's almost one of those situations where even just the slightest bit of good news or maybe bad news, which isn't as bad as what it was thought, you got to think would cause this thing to snap in the upwards direction. And that's where that trend line can come into play right there and be very helpful. So if you like to play these kind of bottom feeding type plays on very popular stocks, then yeah, I definitely say get Netflix on your watch list. Next one, TWTR Twitter. The drama continues, and a lot of people continue to talk about this one. And what I'm very curious about moving forward is this trend line right here as that main area of resistance because, again, power of charts. Crazy to think that by using these data points right here, it did a fantastic job of forecasting that area. Generally speaking, forecasting that area of resistance. Right there, nailed it again today. Key area of resistance. So moving forward, that's certainly going to be the main area of resistance, which right now sits right around, let's just call it the $50 mark. So $50, key level of resistance headed into next week. As far as areas of support are concerned, for those that like to play pullbacks, have a couple different areas. First level right there around the $48 mark. And then from the moving averages viewpoint, interesting how you have the purple line and the pink line basically right next to each other. Purple line, once again, 50-period moving average. Pink line, the very famous 200-period moving average. And again, you have those levels basically right on top of one another. So let's just split the difference and call the value $47 on a bit, steeper of a decline. But, in a perfect world for the bulls, the price goes no lower than 48. But if it does, you do still have those moving averages right there. But overall, a very actually strong day for Twitter, given the context of the overall markets getting destroyed today. So actually quite the impressive showing. Next one, PLTR. Done this one several days ago and needed to get things updated. But the main premise here was that, talked about that trend line. And once the price did break down through it, you can see that really unlocked the floodgates there. So I'll just go ahead and delete these lines out as they've all served their purpose. But the main dynamic here that a whole lot of people are going to be watching, and rightfully so, okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything, is this area of support down here